Good morning, cyber traders, and welcome back on this lovely Friday. It is beautiful out here in New York. Hopefully, it's nice in your neck of the woods. Looks like spring has arrived, and so is the market. Right? Good morning to you, Michael Grant. Good to see you, Margaret. Always nice to see you, familiar faces here. Always here every morning, and everyone on social media. Let me tell you, yesterday was a really, really fun day. This stock CEP was absolutely fabulous the last 2 days. You can look here on the long-term chart. It was such a great swing trade. Started right around this $10, ran up to $40 yesterday, held really strong. She's up again this morning. So I know some of you, Kerry did a really nice swing trade in the cyber floor and the trading floor. And there was a couple other ones too. My ultimate favorite though, and even this was a little bit moving a little fast. The best one was this one, Pony. Pony was awesome yesterday. Pony literally ran from $6 up to $7. And then if you came in the afternoon, you got a nice little push, ran from like 7 up to 780. Now it's up to 9. This stock took a very, very big hit. There's been a lot of good stocks trading, and I'm looking forward to this morning. And there's a couple of more we want to cover. First thing I want to talk about, what's going on with Trump again? Every day is news with this guy all the time. There's something going on with the stock market whenever he speaks, and there's something he did that also made another stock move, actually a whole industry. So he signed an executive order yesterday for deep sea mining, and some of the stocks did do really, really well on it. I want to bring them up. For some of you don't know them, OMEX is doing really, really well. Deep sea mining. I want to put this on the watch list. A lot of people don't know about this, okay? Now, remember, one thing you learn at Cyber Trading University, and what I was taught and why I'm passing the knowledge over to you, is that everybody always wants to start deal with the fabulous sevens, and you always hear them talking about the Microsofts and the Teslas. I know we're doing really well with those stocks too. They took a really big beating, but there are other stocks that are out there that will give you the home runs, okay? You don't need to always buy and sell, an expensive car. You can make the same amount of money of a car that you might not have no interest in with less risk, with more reward. That's what we're looking at. So all these, those executive orders have a lot to do with it. Forget about the executive orders of showing ID that he signed for voter ID, transgender. Forget about that. Don't let those things bother you. When you hear an executive order, it's going to be signed. You want to hear it, what he's doing regarding how it affects, like the tariffs, right? And we all know it. Now, that's old news. Now we need to see if the new news is coming out. These things will come to fruition. But these other ones are that much better. So you had OMEC was one of them. KIT was another one. KITT is another U.S. robotic stocks doing really well. KITT, put that on the watch list. What else is up this morning that we had? So deep sea stocks and that. We have TMC was another one. That was another one, a good metal stock right there. Big pop early. You could see it right there. Had a really good move, $2 all the way up to about $3. Built a beautiful Fausto flag. That one's going back on the watch list, TMC. And you can see stock was all the way down here, down to $1.50. Now, a couple of stocks I do want to touch upon on the brand name stock. So Palantir is doing fabulous. The only issue is it got very expensive right now. Archer, I'll be really cautious about that one. We did really well on Archer. Archer right now is got some big resistance levels right around the $9. Let me bring up level 4 over here so you guys could see what I'm talking about. There still is you see that big line right there? 47,000, 20,000. And remember, this is pre-market. Now, with pre-market orders out there on the right of the chart, remember, this goes up like 5-10 times when the market opens up sometimes. So that's where our orders are right now. So, a lot of us bought the stock. We own it right around here, around a $6 price range. So you basically made about $2.5 on a swing trade on it. I love the company. I think it's great. I was also drooling about Palantir. This one's just a lot cheaper. And for some of you don't know what they do, they're in the military, drone market, okay? And I think they're also doing the air taxis too. Anyway, those stocks are doing pretty well too. We had a couple of good deals on NVIDIA, TSLY, TSL. Tesla came back a little bit. I want to bring this up right here, TSL. So anyway, a lot of us, if you got in, I'm glad I bought it back. Yesterday I was talking about, I'm glad I bought it back. I was getting really nervous, but if we just get a little push on Tesla, this stock, you could see it here, how much of a beating it took from 40 all the way down to $6. That is a complete crush right there. And we look at the stock Tesla right here, we're pretty much almost there. We can get past this 280 price range. We're going to look really nicely with that. All right. And we all know the news, what happened with Tesla, that, Elon Musk is backing off on Doge. He's going to put his focus more on the company. He took a very big hit himself and the shareholders. So, that's going to be a good one. Anyway, regarding about yesterday, I did do a open house. We do our typical open house on Thursday. By the way, if you missed it, and let me change here so you guys can see, read a little bit more on social media. If you did miss it, you can take your phone. On the right-hand corner, there's a QR code. If you're watching on social media, click on it, scan it. We'll get you on our trading floor if you missed out on it, or if you want to get to see that recording, what I did. But yesterday, we got a lot of new subscribers that did sign up. Please don't be offended when I take things very personal. It was just too many people lose money in trade. I actually went to AI and I even brought it up and I showed people 80-90% failure rate. Shockingly, I said, I couldn't believe it. It said CyberTrading University brought up that if you took education from CyberTrading University, you have a good fighting chance, which I did not make that up. I don't know how AI knew that. But the point I'm getting to is I was very adamant kind of talking about NASDAQ book viewer. And I'm actually in the process right now. I'm doing a big project. I was just hired from NASDAQ to teach on NASDAQ book viewer, which I'm going to show that. I'm really looking forward to that, doing that project. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is that you got to know how to use and follow the right of the chart. Okay. Some of you didn't know that this technology existed, but it's been around for about 40-50 years. And some of you like, why are more people not talking about it? Is because they were not a market maker like us. So thank you for coming and joining. You're going to love the trading floor. I'm just going to tell you right now, do not buy anything we tell you. We don't tell you what to buy and sell. You're there to watch the traders, how they think for themselves. And let me tell you, they're exactly like you when you get started. So don't feel a little awkward if you feel like, oh, things are moving a little fast, I don't understand. You'll as long as you basically spoke to your education advisor, you're doing okay. All right, so a couple of stocks that moving up. Let's put them on the watch list. So we got the Pony, Pony. Josh was thanking me yesterday. He goes, Fausto, that's a really good trade yesterday. I'm like, well, Josh, you had that other one that did really well. But Pony was a nice, comfortable, inexpensive, tradable stock. 6 million shares already traded. Still got a big push on that one. AI stock right there. So put that on a watch list. We already know about Kit. That's the other one from yesterday. It's kicking in again today. OMEX. We talked about that. Mining stock. Another one still pushing up. Cheap too. I mean, look, it's that $1.40, guys. It's cheap. This stock got destroyed. Okay, look at this stock. Back on this day, the stock went from $5 to 45 cents. Well, it looks like now they're going to start doing the drilling. And let me tell you, like it or not, a president has got a lot of power with that pen. All right, a lot of power. We got this stock, CEP. I'm going to put this on the watch list, but I'll be really, I don't know, just be careful. Okay, be careful. It came out with unbelievable news, okay, regarding about the partnership with an equity partnership on it, and we did have it posted up on our news. But yeah, just be very careful with this stock. But this is for real. This is not a short squeeze. Okay, this has got real big news, the merger. All right, so that worked out pretty well. OLB was another one that moved up pretty well, but she's starting to back off a little bit. Good spread, 18%, 9 million shares. I'll put this on the B list. OLB. CGC moving up pretty nicely. Another very nice stock yesterday. Very cheap, very inexpensive, slow. You could see it ran from $1.20 to about $1.50. You made money. It's a cannabis stocks. So the pot stocks are moving now over again. CGC, what's Tilray doing then? TRLY. Is that one moving too? Yeah, that one's moving up a little bit. Looks like the pot stocks are moving up a little bit. I don't know what that's all about. We'll check out the news, see what's happening. But maybe pot stocks are, when you find one, they're all moving. FFAI, another AI stock, that looks like it's moving a little bit slow. It's up about 7%. All right, we're done with that. Anything under 10, we don't want to go further. Losers. Wow, this thing's getting hammered, huh? Down almost 100 points. So we're not going to trade that stock. This one's down. This one's down. Nothing there. This one definitely put another AI stock. SES. Nice trend. Gapped up. Beautiful. Let's go check out some of the orders out there. See who's out there buying it. SES. Oops. Always do this. SES. I'm going to go check out the orders. Let me take a sip of my Krispy Kreme cup coffee right here. I'm just getting the data. We got a couple iceberg orders here at $1.50, $1.40. It's moving 10-cent intervals. Big green bull just came in. I mean, a lot of orders just came in on executions on the ask. That's a good sign. Like it. Sphere. Don't really like it. GDXD. This one took a big hit. Bank of Montreal. Not really crazy about that one either. AVTR. That one's not doing well. That's obviously the ETF of the opposite. Nugget. HMY coming down. All right, I think we're done. Oh, NVIDIA had earnings. I mean, Intel had earnings yesterday. That took a big hit. Listen, Intel's got a lot of support. If you can get it right around here, around the $18 price range, just put it on your watch list. I mean, that one does really, really well. NVIDIA, we're doing pretty well on that one. I own I think some of us here, we bought the NVDL. So that one's making a little bit of a comeback. So doing pretty well on that one. IBIT's doing great. Put it back on the watch list. IBIT, all crypto's doing great. Where are we now on crypto? We hit 95,000. Here, let me show you this order right here. So we hit 95,000. There's 230 Bitcoin out there and starting to trend down a little bit. We're down to 94. So Bitcoin's doing pretty well for us. And, we don't trade the Bitcoin. Some of us under Cyber Group Room trade it, but it's mainly the ETFs, IBIT, IBTU, IBTX, all those. So we're doing pretty well on those. So put the IBIT on there too. All right, guys, anything I'm missing I did not call out? NVIDIA came out with some new software products called Nemu. Okay, really? All right. Keep going. Listen, I love when they sing like that when you own it. I hope you feel good about Pony's moving. Yeah, Pony's moving up really nice. And you know what? If you look at it, fellow traders, looks like it's starting to build a little Fausto flag. So great in pre-market, 850, 940. You guys did well on that one. You know what I say. If you made your money for the day, enjoy the rest of the weekend. All right, guys, let's get ready for the market open up. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching on social media, we will be back in 15 minutes. We are going to continue the trading of the open. So do not log out. We'll be right back. Cyber Group members, you know what you say. You see something, you say something. And if you're new in the trading room, I want you just to watch how these traders think for themselves, because hopefully we're going to make you one of them, within the next couple of days or so, because this is how Wall Street trades. Good luck, everybody. If I don't see the rest of you, if you already made your money this morning and to enjoy the rest of the weekend, I'll see you back on Monday. All right. For the rest of you, let's get ready for the market opened up. Go hit your break. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the open.
All right, traders, we are back and we are off. We are off and running here this Friday morning. Great to have all of us though here inside our live trading room. And for all of us back on YouTube, well, you can tell Fausto got younger. Nope, of course, I'm tagging in though Josh Levitin here once again. So let's hop right into the thick of things at least. So right away, Rich, the news with the mining stocks that came out early this morning with OMEX, KIT. There's a couple more that will probably pop up through the loop, but the OMEX trade made a much better run. What's interesting is that the KIT, KITT, that's much lower float. I feel like if the stars align, that has better, explosivity. Coming off the NFL draft last night, by the way, so I got my Mel Kiper in me right now. A little explosivity. You got to go through the workouts there. No, but just to say at least, KIT, if this can hold support, and we'd called this out earlier inside our live trading room on this, off of 122. Here we go, 125. It needs to stay over this here pretty much for support. And if it's just going to break below it within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then it's not worth the time. So you even want to hang back at least initially here. It's below the VWAP. If it makes a slingshot, I don't mind taking it from a higher price. But if it just kind of crashes below this within the first 1-2 bars, then it's just more pop drop, and it's not going to make that move. So all right, so we got KIT, the OMEX trade, I'm sure pulling back now at this point as well. Just take a look back at that there, Rich. There. All right, cool. So, hey, if you're on social media right now, just really briefly, let me know if you could hear me. For Grant, Kathleen, Gillis, I know that you guys are good to go inside the live trading room. But if you're on social media, give me a chat back, a little participation. If you're on YouTube right now, just let me know. But at least otherwise, we'll see if OMEX can build support here. We'll see if KIT can make this slingshot coming up over time. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of good plays there. The pony stock. Yeah, like I said, Pat, I know that we're good to go inside the live trading room. It's just more for the YouTubes out there. But just to say at least, hey, good slingshot already on OMEX. Go back to CEP. That was the one from yesterday that ended up making that pretty big pop. A bunch of us took a good piece of that. You didn't need to be in it from the open to make money on it. As long as you're at least taking trades based on what we go through in class, look for rebreaks of resistance, see the flipping of that into support. Now, the issue on this is still the order book. I'd much rather trade KIT. I'd much rather trade OMEX, not even for the price. It's for the order book. If this had a penny spread, I'd be on top of this probably more than the others. But yeah, I mean, it made a good pop here to start. We'll see if it can at least continue to build. Had good resistance prior to the open right around here. So we need to hold over that, flip that into support here coming up. Rich calling out inside our live trading room. Big resistance at 175 on the OMEX trade. There you go. We got a few of us here on YouTube right now. Great to see Pat. We had Warren just also that right there. Let's see if this can at least try and break over 175 in due time. The KIT trade's doing better though, at least for the time being, right? KIT is holding over that 122, 125 support. And again, if you're inside our live trading room, just check the trading room screen here coming up because you'll see popping up on the top right. And Rich, I don't know if there's a way for you to even show that. Maybe you can clip out the call out there and show it on your screen since you're sharing. But just pretty much right before the market opened up, we were talking about this. It was kind of the playbook. It needs to at least hold over that as support, 122, 125. If it doesn't do that, then it's game over. Then it's no deal. It's kind of trending down still off of the recent highs. But it's just to mention it. If we can get it to hold, and if it goes back up, it's on a 5 million share float. It's a day trade type of move. It could turn into a swing trade over time. But at the minimum, it's a day trade because look what happened at the end of last year. I know Fausto covered that in the morning meeting, but all right. So we'll stick on this for a little bit, but we'll kind of keep going through the others. Go to AREB. That was one that we had on the pre-market watch list, at least there. I don't know if this has anything to do with No, this is like the beer company, right? American Rebel. We talked about this. I think they're like a beer thing going on with that. I don't know if this like the Hulk Hogan thing. It's just no. This ended up making a big move the other day, obviously, and order book checks out pretty nicely here on this. Just it's a bit thin, but the spread at least isn't crazy yet. But we'll see. We had a good wick down on that kit though, KITT initially. I was hoping to see a better move on that over time. Let's go through at least what else do we have on the watch list, Rich? We got the IBIT. Check out OLB. See, this might pop later on. I mean, hey, maybe sooner, who knows? But I'm just pointing out the fact it was trending down going into the market open there. So it's going to take time for it to build that support and then bounce and make a cleaner move. So hopefully it is sooner than later, but it might take, maybe an hour. We'll see. Go back to the pony trade. Yeah, there we go. See, I wasn't going crazy there, Rich, right? I mean, let me post that in the chat just before with the AREB. They operated primarily as a designer, manufacturer, marketer of branded safes and personal security through self-defense products. They transitioned into the beverage industry through the introduction of American Rebel light beer. The more you know. I'm not even a drinker these days. Honestly, I barely touch alcohol nowadays. But just to say that we saw the stock make a nice run the other week off of that type of news. Lawrence in and out on Pony. He had a nice catch there on Pony for about 50 cents. This has been a strong trade also, of course. We've had this on our watch list all throughout this week. In the afternoon, it was one of our trades from yesterday, pre-market, the open. So along with AREB, along with the kit and the Omex, this is right there. Fausto was talking about his Krispy Kreme mug in the morning, I think. Well, no better mug to have than, right? Cybertrading University, right? You got that right there, I believe, on our shop, if I'm not mistaken. But, ooh, look at that. You got a 25,000 share order on the bid popping up. Let's see if that could hold or if the rug gets pulled there. I may have spoke that into existence, but just pop up level 4 right there, Rich, and zoom in deep if you can. Pop up level 4 and zoom in deep on it. Just I want to see if that order got filled or pulled. Oh, maybe that wasn't even on Bookmap. Maybe that was through a smaller. I mean, I know you got the larger order at 9, but still 920 though. That was a pretty decent buyer, and that could have been through a different ECN or exchange. Because now look, you got an orange line at 915 for about 24,000, and it's not showing at 920 there. That's a little bit more complex. We take a little bit more time in coaching to go over that, the one-on-one coaching program. Ooh, by the way, pull back, Rich. Pull back. Forgot to do this within the first 5 minutes. I said to myself I was going to take care of this housekeeping note in the first 5 minutes because we always tend to wait the first few minutes after the open. Now, for all of us inside our live trading room, I'm speaking to you here, and specifically, might I say, if you're a platinum or diamond level CTU student, CTU student, just let me know. Give me a chat back. I already see Alan and Grant, Michael here. You are a platinum or diamond level CTU student, certainly. Leda, Ray, great to see you all here. Alex, Bill, he believes so. You are indeed. Roseanne, you are platinum or diamond level, so not the bronze level, unfortunately, not the gold level, unfortunately. Michael and Alan and Roger and Brian, great. All right, so there's no one that hates more about making an announcement of an announcement than me. I don't like hyping up stuff too much. It's just case in point, right? But I want to make sure everyone's here at least once this happens. So, everyone's on different schedules, traveling, whatnot. Just make sure that you are present on Wednesday. And if you're not present here inside our live trading room, if you are a platinum or diamond level CTU student, then just check your emails. That's pretty much it. So we're going to make an announcement on Wednesday. I'm just letting you know of that right now, but this applies specifically to those students. And again, if you are not here right now, then you'll obviously find out through email either way. But just wanted to let you know in advance. So if you were obviously trying to be here throughout the week, then definitely make it a point to be here on Wednesday morning, we'll say. So we got a lot to talk about on Wednesday. couple good things for you. Lee says, raise your hand if you are not here. Oh, no worries, Lee. At least you know. At least you know. So check your emails, Lee. Check your emails on Wednesday. So you are certainly still going to be taken care of in that regard. No worries. So at least you were here now. But on Wednesday, we'll definitely make a nice little special announcement for our longtime legacy level type of students, platinum or diamond. And hey, if you're gold, if you're if you're lower than gold, bronze level student, don't worry. Typically, we'll make an announcement later on throughout the year for you. Now, as I've been yapping, Rich, turn right back over to my trade here, our trade, the KIT, KITT. There we go. Look at that. And draw a line right at 122. Right at 122. Alan, you'll be golfing? Hey, shoot a hole in one there for me if you can, because I definitely won't be able to. But more or less, at least you'll check emails. Check your emails on Wednesday. Just remind yourself to check emails on Wednesday. And I'll probably be annoying and make a note of it on Tuesday to remind everyone one last time. Don't worry. But at least as long as you check emails, you'll be in the loop. All right. So this is exactly the level and the move that we were hoping to see, at least here on the KITT trade. 1 second here, Rich. I want to just have you show this on the stream, especially for those of us that are not members inside our live trading room, because, of course, we have our screen here, mind you. But Rich, I'm sending you the picture right there. Can you just actually show that, just blow that picture up basically and show everyone just on stream pretty much? Yeah, and zoom in there if you can there on the snipping. You can do Control plus. Yep, perfect. Bingo. Look at that. So this was at 8:51 in the morning, right? If you remember inside our live trading room, I always tell this to you, when we make call outs on iceberg orders, call outs on, chart levels, blah, blah, blah. And at least then, when I'm not on the mic, I have the time to type and kind of mention a couple things to you, at least more extensively. So at 8:51, I was pretty direct. I'd very much welcome a pullback to 122 to 125 on KIT this morning, if possible. Good swing level. Now, let's see what happens here. Go back, Rich, because shaking back down here. It's got to hold. It's got to hold. Nasty drop here. What happened? Gotta bring up level 4 now myself. I was talking too much. I was stroking my ego a little bit too much there, right? No, it looks like a couple of new sell orders popped up at 155 and at 147. So if it doesn't hold support, then at least you're going to go break even. Speaking of golf, Alan, if you go par on a hole in golf, that's not the worst thing in the world. But I was hoping for this to at least not make this rude shake here. Definitely for it to stay over the VWAP price right around 131. If it stays over that, we're still in good shape. That's the baby blue price on the right side of our screen right there. You can highlight that there, Rich. It's actually showing now, 131. But normally, if you see baby blue, that's the VWAP price. If it stays over that, then we're in very good shape still. Oh, you know what happened also? If they're all moving together, obviously they're not going to always move together. But if they were just before, Omex ran into a big sell order and just shook down. So that could have been pretty similar to where people sold on KIT. They're kind of grouping them together on trades, like basket orders. So go back to KIT. It can't stay over 130, the VWAP here coming up, or if it just lays under it here for the next couple of minutes, I may just look to pull the plug on my trade. But some money's better than no money, and zero money's better than losing money. But at the end of the day, at least, you just got to manage this coming up. Make sure that it stays over VWAP, near it. All right, let's just see what else we got, at least in the interim also. Omex. What else we got? Go back to Pony just for a second. I don't know how it's looking. Might be shaking around now. Lower highs. Yeah, be careful on Pony because the order book's pretty open here. Made such a good move up from the last few days and back yesterday even. It was on a better spread, better order book. So at least there, you had an easier time looking for icebergs, looking for a cleaner move to set your stop off of. At least now, though, lower highs. Now you're getting a 5, 6, 7 cent spread at times. So if it makes a lower low, this thing's cooked. This thing is going to drop real fast. I mean, just look at the daily chart. So it ended up making a big drop off prior to this, 2-day, 3-day run. History speaks for itself. It's tough to trust this as a swing trade, at least at first. And the same goes for Kit. Go back to the Kit trade. Hey, long-term Kit chart kind of stinks. The better part with this, though, compared to the OMEX, is that this has been in a longer streak of consolidation. So maybe it's not going to be a perfect swing at first, but this has been flattening out more. There's like more thought where this has a chance to break out. Okay, I'm getting out. I just got out. 127. I was in from 25. 2 pennies. It's like, better than nothing, but at least here, though, I don't want to be a part of the shake. Now, at this stage, I'll even buy higher if it can get back over the VWAP price there. That's all. Hey, if it's going to make lower high compared to the pre-market levels there, then unfortunately, you got to react with that and look to get out ahead of time. I don't mind buying higher. Actually, go back to CEP. For as crazy as that was yesterday, zoom back out on the 1-minute chart. And we talked about this. We were looking for a move yesterday on this trade. If it were to kind of snap below 25 bucks, it never did. And I was saying, I don't mind if I buy higher off of like, what was it, 28.50? Got in at 28.49. Well, averaged in technically, but basically though, 28.50 was my price and moved up pretty well at the time. But even that was a lower high heading into the afternoon, and then it fell off a cliff. So I'm not swing trading this right now. Maybe it could be a good swing trade over time, this one, but just kind of comparing apples to oranges. All right, go back to Kit. This is a funny morning here so far. The second that we pull the plug on Kit, look what happens actually. Just look what shows up on the matrix right at the price 124. 79,000 share buyer just popped up pretty much immediately after I got out. Well, that could definitely help me try and get back in, but I just want to see if that ends up getting tested or if it goes a little closer to that. Oh, another 59,000 there too. That's actually pretty nice. It might look to hit those orders, though. It may look to at least kind of hit those orders and fill most of it, then kind of slingshot back up. But it's not even the 79. There's also 59,000 share, 50,000 or so share that popped up just before there. Let me get my level 2 more showing on my own platform here. We're looking at Rich's screen here, but on my actual execution system, I want to see where that order is popping up from, though. Mostly from NASDAQ. I don't really see a larger order through another ECN just yet, but there could be something popping up, though. Bill saying SoFi new high of the day. Yeah, we've been calling that out as a swing trade more than anything of late. Shout out to Alex. Alex, I know you're here. Alex P. About a week ago, he told me on a coaching call, he's like, Josh, I'm in on SoFi as a swing trade. And he just was kind of asking for my opinion on it at the time. He knows what he's doing. He does not need my opinion. Alex P. and Alex Poe. We got 2 Alex P's technically. Alex P. Alex Poe. Both are actually 2 of our best traders in a room. But Alex P. from Illinois, he is in this trade, and it's not his normal cup of tea. Normally, he's a Tesla, Coinbase guy. A little bit more expensive stock, a little bit faster, which is fine. Hey, literally everyone's got their own cup of coffee. But that's just where I was like, well, let me ask, out of curiosity, you know what you're doing. Why do you jump in? He's like, well, some great news came out on it. And it was something about a $3 billion extension on their loan program, right? Alex, if you're here, just give me a chat back because I saw you before. That was pretty much it, right? He's in from 970, if I'm not mistaken. See, I got good memory, Alex. I got good memory here. But just to say, though, this thing's been off to a great start for him, but we've been mentioning it since that point. And if you had the chance to tail Alex on that or our call out on that, yeah, it's doing great this morning, up 4%. There you go. I got no life outside of this here, Alex. So, all I do is watch charts. It's just to say that was still pretty recent. All right, so let's go back to Kit because Kit is kind of testing that order. Mostly through NASDAQ. It's a little bit through ARCA. So that's why it doesn't partially show that order on Bookmap there. On ARCA book, it doesn't show that, I don't believe. All right, well, if it just smashes below this, and that's not good, right? Then it's going to be total dump off. But I feel like at least with that order that showed, as long as it stays there, it doesn't get smashed through. Maybe it gets mostly filled and then it snaps up. There's a thought behind that. So you are kind of walking on a tightrope here a little bit. It's like if it snaps below it, you're screwed. If it holds, you're doing great. Gillis talking about a 500,000 share iceberg on the bid. Oh yeah, wow, great call out, Gillis. Yeah, check that out. And actually, Rich, if you don't mind, just actually do a snapshot of Gillis's call out there and just post that on the YouTube stream or just pop it up in the room at least. Just show that on your screen there all together. But he just made a great call out talking about that iceberg order, and Rich posting that on in the book viewer there, I should say as well. But Gillis, one of our students, he attends all of our classes. He's taken a lot of time to go through everything and do the coaching, and at least from there, that was pretty good eye, right? One of our gold level students, Gillis L. Over 500,000 shares. I don't care what price this stock is trading at, $1.65 or 165. That's a pretty big order out there in general. So yeah, let's see what happens off of that level. At least we'll draw a line at that price. It's coming down to it, so it's got to hold. Maybe it gets pulled. I mean for that to rhyme, but just to say at least that there's a chance where this does get either removed or broken through. So just be mindful of that. Obviously, with the order that shows up on Kit, that's pretty interesting. Where you have the iceberg on Kit, you got the iceberg on Omex, both going at the same time. They're both being like tested, poked at right now at the same time. So it'll be interesting. Do we have it get broken through and these just tank? I think there's a chance where that happens. Be mindful. Just kind of zipping through the rest of our watch list here in my side list. I mean, Tesla dropping off a little bit. Nothing to write home about that. If you're short on that, you're probably looking good off the open. Hertz dropped off overnight, so I'm probably going to take that off my just bookmap page here. So that was on my list at least heading into the day. It's off now. Omex broke below that buyer. That's not good for right now. If it makes a slingshot right away from here, though, then there's a chance for it to still snap and run. Let's see what happens as long as it stays back over 165. The VWAP, I would go as low as setting or stop below the VWAP now at this point. But if it stays over this general area now, little break below it. It didn't completely snap below it in terms of support. Obviously, you want to see the instant reaction off of it. We teach this mainly in our phase 2 class, phase 3, the coaching program, as I had aforementioned. But now, if there's like a 500,000 share seller that pops up here on the sell side here, then it's like, oh, okay, definitely game over. If there's going to be like a gradual flip of the order book in due time here. But for right now, there's still some life left on this trade. Now, the Kit trade broke below support, though, unfortunately. So that didn't hold support. Let's see if it makes the same type of slingshot. But Kit right now is definitely dropping off a little bit more. There's a chance where that can make a similar type of slingshot here at least. But this is where we did talk about this happening. Like, hey, what if it ends up snapping below support and staying below there? This looks a little bit weaker compared to the Omex. Go back to CEP. C. Oh, this is perfect. Wow. It's actually right back to the same damn level I was thinking about it from pre-market, which is the same damn level that we were looking at from yesterday. We focused on a couple of different prices here on CEP, but it's basically right at this same level now. I feel like it should be resistance at first, but it's off to a good move up already. I mean, there's a chance for this to run. It's on a big spread, so that's the thing. You can't chase this stock because if you just buy at market, you're killing yourself. Oh, absolutely, Uday. This is a category 5 stock. So we talk about this in the phase 1 class that you have, and a bunch of us, will be in this morning. And we'll talk about a little bit about this today in class, but we have specific classes for like scanning and how we categorize these stocks. So you're right. Yeah, bad spread on it. I'm just mentioning it because for more experienced traders that do tend to make money on these stocks more often than not just once in a blue moon. Those traders have a chance to try and see a setup here where as long as support can hold over this area, we'll go like 31-ish. 31-ish, maybe even a little under 31. Look what happened on Omex. I can't make this shit up, folks. I can only just react to it and tell you from past experience. Show book map right there, Rich, because it doesn't even look as good on the matrix there because we have that QR code popping up. I didn't want to speak it into existence, but I just tell you from past experience where what happens if there's a 500,000 share seller that just pops up, on the order book. That's where you say, screw this, game over, right? I mean, in some iteration, I just mentioned that a second ago. So I didn't want to wish that into existence. I'd rather it run up and make a clean, pretty move for Patrick, Uday, Gillis, Adel, Rick, all of us here to make money on. But these realities do happen. Oh, and what happened at 175, Rich? How big is that? Scrunch up your price axis. I can't see on the stream. No, a little bit more, just because, the price axis. Just scrunch it up like a lot. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So 175 or 165, I should say, is still your largest sell order out there, but it seems like there's something even more popping up a little bit above that. Not as big, but I mean, it's just to mention this thing is not looking as good now. There's a chance for it to try and hold over that area, but as soon as that sell order popped up, look what happened. It instantly dropped. Oh, and look what's happening now. It's laddering down. Yeah, go back to regular view. That's not good. Now, the Omex trade is up a hell of a lot more compared to the kit. I thought there was more room on kit, not only because it's lower float. If the stars align, this has, explosivity, like we said. It's more pop and drop. That's for damn sure. But it was up a lot less than Omex was. So in the sense of maybe you thought this could have been up too much, you see a little profit taking. They're both dropping, but it's just when this happens here, you can't try and swim upstream. So now let's just take a look at the SPY. I want to take a look at overall markets now. We've been kind of harping on those deep sea mining stocks, at least a little bit there. Yeah, I was going to get to PLTR. You hit it one moment here. So the SPY dropping off here, selling off heading into the weekend, perhaps. Maybe just profit taking. Maybe one more build up before the major swing bounce that we see. I'm sure over time, Trump's going to work out a deal with President Xi. I'm sure that there's going to be QE pumping into the market, get the money printer going again. And that's where you're going to see the market kind of skyrocket. I think that we'll get a really good swing bounce back up to all-time highs soon enough. I mean that. But right now, just heading into this one weekend, you're probably seeing a little profit taking. You haven't even broken lows yet, right? You haven't even broken pre-market lows. Zoom out on the 1-minute chart. Yeah, we did so well from yesterday and from Thursday, the end of last week into this week. So if we drop back down to 540, 535 today, that's not bad. And it wouldn't shock me if that happens. So especially if that happens, then I don't think the deep sea mining stocks are going to be as likely to run. Normally, I don't care about the market when it comes to small cap stocks. But if we're going to tank, and also, the deep sea mining stocks are kind of tied to Trump, executive order. It would just be tougher, in my opinion, for that to be a better run up. At least go back to go back to Omex. I want to see what happened there. It's testing that seller now at 155. Testing it. Ooh, it filled it. It filled that order. Now, what's going to happen though? That doesn't get me back in this trade. I feel like this could be, a fake type of move so far. There's no great reaction off of this here right away. Just instantly drop below that same price again. So, not a fan of this at first. You got to see at least that to hold as support first. But also, you'd probably want to have a new buy order show up. Get a new 500,000, 400,000 shared buyer popping up. We get that, then there's a chance. Kit's still down. The CEP trade didn't pull back to my level yet. Had a little move up to start, but it's shaking around right now. My level's like right over 31 pretty much, but it's just kind of hovering a little bit higher. So no entry on that for me just yet. And even still, if it does pull back here, this could be lower high and a shake lower, heading into the morning. So this is where it's tough to gauge as far as definitely a strong pop coming up here, because as long as it's making lower highs, there's no real confirmation just yet. It's tough to wait for this to break over $35 or so to gauge an entry, but in terms of patience at least. But for as much as it ran up yesterday, why not think that there's a chance for this to go back up to 40, if not 50? If 50 is a psychological level. We were talking about that yesterday as far as, if the stars truly align, then, it wouldn't shock me for this to get close to 50 today or at some point over time. I'm not trying to play crystal ball with like the day, but at least if this starts to pop right now, then you think $5, $5 levels, 35 after that 40, 45, 50. So we'll see. If it tanks here, this thing better hold over at least 30. My level's a little over 31 from the chart, but zoom in on the 1 minute graph here, Rich. And we're going to come back to this. So actually, I forgot to take a look at, Yehuda PLTR, right? Yehuda's a big fan of PLTR. We showed the SPY just before, and I was going to get to, at least PLTR here, which has been a phenomenal swing trade. We've been calling this out for like a week now at this point off of that NATO news, right? I say this all the time because we have new members joining us inside our live trading room. We have new people on our streams each and every day, but you can't be in everything at once, right? So if I say, oh, it's a great swing trade and I'm not in it, I'm in other things. I'm mainly in Bitcoin focused stocks, and I do derivatives on Bitcoin on Coinbase, or I should say futures. But otherwise, hey, KIT, OMEX, CEP, those are the trades I'm focused on here at day trading. But as far as this goes, this has been a great swing trade off the news. We're on top of that right away. Chuck in and out on the ETF there. Let me ask, just generally speaking, because I don't want to distract our traders inside our room, but who here is swing trading PLTR, or who here is swing trading the ETF, or who here is doing PLTR option calls? Just any of those. Let me know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which one, but if you are in a form of PLTR, would love to know. Because the answer is going to be a number of us, right? It's not just, one person. It's a number of us, right? We love this stock. We talk about it all the time. So, I don't need to be in it for our students to make money on it. Lawrence, Dave, Roseanne, Alex, Bell, Yehuda, of course. There we go. Piyush, Lawrence. If I didn't mention it before, losing track of my people now. Chuck, of course, day trading it, and just probably in and out on a swing trade or two there. Bill saying the dividend. That's right, of course. You got the dividend also there. Hey, Rich, do me a quick favor. Just go back to CEP. And then also draw a line. We didn't have you do this yet, but just draw a line. My line is at 31.27. That's my exact price. I said 31 and change. So, my exact line, it wasn't going to, I didn't think it was going to be perfect. I didn't think this would be as nice as it actually looks here on the graph. It like kissed it and just snapped right back up. There could have been a little shake around. Like could have broke below 31 there for intermittently. But that's pretty sick. That is really nice. That is crazy to see at least. And now it needs to make a higher high. So I'm in on this trade right now. I took small size, obviously. We're not doing this on anything more than 100 shares. But at least here, there's a chance for this to try and pop. Now, if it just breaks below support, then obviously hands off. Same rules apply here as they did on KIT. Actually, they apply 1,000 times more because the order book is so thin. But zoom out here, Rich, on the 1 minute chart. I just want to try and quickly show why I was looking at that price. It's the level I've had on my chart from yesterday. Just zoom in on that area between 11:30 and 3 o'clock from yesterday. If you can. This still needs to make a higher high. But look at that support from 2:30 into 3 o'clock. That looks pretty clean. It looks clean at first. It broke below it, though, right? That's where you say, at least as long as it looks clean previously, there's a chance for it to be clean in due time. If there's evidence behind the level. Look at before that at 11 to 11:30. We teach this in our class. Warren's a student of CTU normally. He's inside our live trading room frequently and joining us on YouTube today. So he knows. He's gone through our classes, phase 1 stock course, and obviously more phase 2, phase 3. But just here in phase 1, which we're doing today, we teach this in our charting class. Just that looks like a clean support level. No, I don't think anyone could argue that. Now, that's like generally the area that it was holding yesterday. I had my line at that price, so I wasn't expecting perfection, but holy smokes, that was perfect right there. Turn back, go back to regular, zoom in on that there. Still not out of the doghouse, though. Still not out of the weeds just yet because it needs to make higher high. It's got to flip higher high into support. So it looks like there's a shot. But if this isn't going to get the job done, then I'm not going to go to break even. I'll make some money on this at this point, but it's got a thin order book. So if Kit shook down pretty nastily and that had a good order book, hey, just be mindful. If this fails to make higher high, then possibility for retracement increases. Warren says CEP between 30 and 34 oscillating. Yeah, definitely. Just in general, right? My level held right there, but it still needs to make higher high. If this doesn't make higher high, it's going back to that 30. Below my line, I'll go to that 30, like you said. Let me ask Ashley, because I know we got a bunch of us on YouTube here this morning at least, but you got one of us I was mentioning, Warren, chatting us here, and he's inside our trading room frequently. Warren, how long have you been a member of CTU? When did you join us as a student? What, about like 4 years ago? 3-4 years ago? Maybe even longer, perhaps. I just lose track of time at this point. COVID time screwed me up as far as just like my timeline. You know what I mean? So I feel like a student's been with us for maybe a year. They say like, oh, it's been 2.5 years. Like, whoa, where'd the time go? Bill's been with us for about 5 years. There you go. Nice to see inside our live trading room there. See, it's making a lower high right here. I feel like this isn't exactly making that build right now. It's just tough. I'm going to give it like one more bar here. If it breaks a little bit lower below 32, I'll just get out. I have a really good entry on this, thankfully, just based on that level, but that's like a Christmas gift right now. It's a Hanukkah gift right now. But no, just to say at least that if this just goes a little bit lower, I'll just take whatever profit out and say that's it. It's not a big deal. I'd just rather not be on the top of the roller coaster looking down or already going down as the roller coaster's dropping. So there's one thing about me, I'm not a roller coaster fan. I mean that quite literally. So this definitely reminds me of like King Dakar, Six Flags in Jersey, which they did knock down recently. I'm not really too thrilled about that. I'm not a roller coaster guy myself, but as far as nostalgia, I've seen that get destroyed. It's like a Northeast landmark in the U.S. Now here, let's see this try and move up. Come on, this thing's got to make some magic now at this point, right? If this goes a little bit lower, I'm just saying the hell with this and I'm out. And the issue, though, is that my stop is set. This thing has such a wide book that it might just take me out randomly and then wick back up. That could happen. Let's go through a couple trades, Rich. I just want to see just how these look. Turn over to soon to begin. I'm going to go through a motion here. So SOUN, wow, that's actually looking incredible. Actually, way better than I thought it was going to actually appear. This didn't even pop up on my scanner. I was like kind of assuming in my head. Assume. There we go. Moved up pretty nicely. Resistance at $10 right now. I was going to then turn over to BBAI. I thought BBAI was popping up a little bit more. Turn back to BBAI. Yeah, that's also a nice run. The AI stock's doing pretty good. What was the other one here on my scanner here I just had before? One more. IONQ. Wow, big pop. What the hell just happened here? IONQ announces a $22 million deal, which isn't really that big, with EPB establishing. Can you flash that again, Rich? That news. Flash that news there again. Yeah, with EPB establishing Chattanooga, Tennessee as the first quantum computing network and hub in the U.S. The last part of that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Put that in the YouTube stream as well. I'll pop that up for everyone there on the YouTube at least. All right, so that's some important stuff. I was like thinking about the money there, the number 22 million. Like you read from left to right. So I'm going from IONQ announces 22 million. I'm like, that's not that big. Well, the last part of that sentence is the most important part, I'd say. First, quantum computing and networking hub within the United States. I mean, obviously they have offices here in the US, like headquarters and stuff, corporate, but as far as like a major server hub area, I guess, which I don't know the first thing about, don't ask me. Just to say, at least that sounds like pretty decent news. And for as expensive as this has gotten over time, zoom out on the 1 minute, zoom out on the daily chart. I mean, this was like a $4 stock for us back then, right? The order book was like really clean here at one point when this was much cheaper. But obviously, with any stock that runs up and explodes, it's going to thin out. So that's normal for IONQ at this point. For this to have a big spread, that's normal. Don't think that this is like out of the blue. The news is, but the order book, that's kind of what you should expect. Now, if that's the case, I bet you some of the other quantum stocks are going to move in sympathy. So go over to like Rigetti, go over to QUBT. Those are all pushing just from before the last few minutes. QBTS probably a bit slower. Oh, Leda, very nice. Leda got a nice little piece of that. Got about like 50 cents to like 70 cents total on that there between two trades. Yeah, go over to QBTS there, Rich. Type in. This is probably the more tradable one in terms of liquidity, order book, tight spread. If you're not looking for anything too crazy. But this is the one that's moving in sympathy. I mean, alongside the others, but the IONQ is the main one off of the news. So if this is pulling back, then the others are likely going to kind of go with it. Take a look to see what's going back up. Thank God. Obviously, I'm happy to have it happen. It's not breaking higher highs yet, though, still. It's just to say support's holding. And I hung on. It didn't take me out. Put your cursor on that red candle with the down wick. Yep, exactly. Nice. 32.17. I was about 14 cents out from getting stopped. I held on. It didn't take me out, thankfully. Knocking on wood as I say that. Alex saying here, Alex Poe. There we go. OLB retesting $2. Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a nice setup there as well. Really good call out from Alex Poe. We weren't really focused on that at the time. So, I know Rich was calling it out right beforehand, but, to be quite frank here, I am looking at our student call outs here. I like to focus on our students. So when I saw Alex talking about OLB, I'm like, oh, let's look at that. So Rich was definitely there at first, but Alex right there as well and got my attention. And you got a nice big volume level right there at $2 as well. Looking at Rich's screen there, the far right side, look at the matrix. You'll see that kind of stick out, those volume candles or volume histogram bars. I was going over that with a student yesterday in private chat just about with interactive brokers. They have a very similar type of volume histogram type of tool. Very, very useful. We talk about that all the time in class. Coaching, take a lot of time to go over that. All right, so let's just go through here, Rich, really quick. We're gonna just kind of zip through a few stocks to recap what's going on here. Go over to Pony. We talked about this. If it's not going to make that big higher high, then it's more prone to drop off over time. We moved on from this pretty quick. We knew that it was more likely for this to happen in due time. For as much as it ran up the last couple of days, if it's not going to contain support, same could have been said with CEP. Obviously that still might happen. It hasn't broken higher just yet, so the same could happen there. Just pointing out, at least you got to learn to let go of these stocks. When it's the right time, you got to learn to let go. Michael getting a good trade off on IONQ right there. He's a contrarian trader, so you got a nice little short just as it was retracing back down. Did a nice move yesterday, I think, on a separate trade. I think Intel, if I'm not mistaken. See, I remember. I also remember, folks, we got the phase 1 stock course coming up in just about 15 or so minutes. Rich, there we go. Always on top of the link right there. Post that as an alert too, so that goes out to Telegram also. We haven't been as on top of Telegram here this morning. Just, I'll be honest with you, it is a little tough even for myself to be the king of multitasking here and juggle every bowling pin in the air correctly. Fausto is normally very much on top of that stuff, but haven't done as many pictures and bookmap images there. We've been showing it on the screen. Uh-oh. What's going on, CEP? Did not break higher. It did not break higher. It just took me out. Right there. Wicked down and took me out. That's rude. Well, it's rude if it snaps back up. It won't be so rude if it just tanks and then that's it, because I made money on it. I'm happy. It was in from 31.29. 31.51 it filled me out even. So, all right, made like 50 cents on it, which isn't too much on it, but it is what it is. We got class coming up in 15 minutes anyway, but it's just to mention if it's not going to make that pop right now, then I'm not holding on to this crazy thing. Especially if I'm teaching. I got a PowerPoint deck to go through. It's kind of tough to play teacher and trader at the same time, right? Wow, Tesla flew up. Whoa. What happened here? Go over to the SPY. Wow, really? So this isn't a market move. This is Tesla on its own type move. Okay. I didn't know right away. I was thinking, like, did we just miss out news of Trump and China deal going on? No, I don't think that's the case, because if that was the case, damn near everything would be popping. SPY would be through the roof. Tesla, though, is through the roof. That's for sure. Fausto's got to be happy to see that. Yeah, that's a really nice squeeze. That kind of came, not to say out of left field. It was building, but as soon as it popped, that thing was off to the racetracks. Really nice move. And of course, you got the TSLL to back it up. So, if you don't trade Tesla, you got TSLL, which is so tradable. That's a really nice move. Trump's on a plane to Rome right now. Is he meeting back with the Italy, president of Italy? Oh, duh. Pope's funeral. Duh. Yeah, Brian. I was very conscious of the news happening throughout this week, of course, mind you. I want everyone to know that. But yeah, right now my trading and education brain wasn't exactly leaning to that at first. My apologies. My apologies. Yes, of course. Well, just to say at least, TSLL is flying though. This thing's on a plane right now. I don't know where the destination is, but this thing looks like it's going to the moon. So just go over to CEP. You're kind of on a tightrope here, and it looks like it's about to break, right? It looks like it's about to break. If support holds here, that's one thing, but there we go. There's a little snap. See what happens here. It's still holding over my line, but as far as this stock of all things, I was asked from several students over the last 24 hours, hey, why should I focus on this? Or why are we putting this on the watch list? Like some iteration of that. It's got such a bad spread. And absolutely, I mean, hey, I'm catering this towards our more experienced traders that make money on a week-to-week basis, at least, if not day-to-day. Obviously, everyone here takes losses. If you think that someone is here that makes money on every trade, you're kind of crazy for thinking that. That's first off. For anyone here that doesn't post like everyone takes losses and everyone has losing days, even your favorite trader. That's where I'll tell you, at least, though, this is a category 5 stock. So for anyone here that makes money like week to week, at least, then it's more for them. But they're even trading this on small size, tiny shares. Like I was doing this on 100 shares. So if this had a penny spread, I'd be doing this on maybe 500, maybe at most. I normally don't like jumping up too much in size on a more expensive stock like 30, 50, $100 stock, obviously. I'll probably just keep around 100 to 200. Sometimes I'll go up more if there's a setup I'm a fan of, not even the stock, but just the chart pattern. So IONQ crashed. Yeah, let's go back to that. That also had a bad spread. Yeah, look, exactly. I mean, not to say I was thinking this would happen to CEP, but I don't want me to be stuck in a trade like this, right? As much as we're here to make money, which obviously we want to do, we need to make sure that our seatbelts are on, right? I mean, it's not like you're driving a car going down the expressway, 80, 90 miles per hour without your seatbelt on. Few of us might say, like, well, I don't go 80, 90 miles per hour anyway in my car. Well, that's true, but you're not in Florida, maybe. Down here in Florida, these people go crazy. So, I'm over here in Southwest Florida. So, I could relate. You got some people out there 80 to 90 miles per hour down the expressway. Now, I'm joking when I say that, of course, just to say, though, you got to make sure your stops are set. Chuck taking some decent money there on the CEP. He just got out. There you go. One says he seldom loses if he follows the rules. Well, you know what though? Seldom is the word though, right? You still do it, on occasion, on a rarity, whatever you want to say. And actually, I will point out specifically, and remember, I know our students here pretty well. I've been with Fausto for 11 years. Lawrence has been with us for a long time. Lawrence is the type of trader that, takes, I didn't want to say a lot of trades, Lawrence, but you take a number of trades and you know how to get out. Your win-loss ratio is actually a lot higher compared to like most, if not everyone here. You might have the highest win-loss ratio, on a weekly basis compared to everyone here, quite frankly. And that's just from how you trade. You've been learning to hold on longer to those trades, right? And you know that you've been doing pretty well, at least the last year and a half, 2 years on that. But everyone's got their own style. Everyone's got their own cup of coffee they order in the morning. And as long as you know how to handle it, and as long as you are a fan of it, as long as it makes you money, then that's what matters most. Now, if that's not your style, and if you feel like the more that you do trade, you lose, then we got to learn to hold on longer or just trade less, right? So everyone's got their own flavor. Point being is just you got to make sure your stop is set. This thing can kill you. Lita says Fausto always says great traders don't buy at the bottom or sell at the top. Absolutely. And that's like on an every trade basis, right? Sometimes we get, I don't want to say lucky. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Speaking of lucky, something's popping up right now. Rich, we got some news here. CEP. Turn back to CEP. This is going to be interesting. We have a new buy order that just showed up here. I don't know if they're just playing hockey with this order, if it's going to disappear in a moment or move, but we got a 60,000 share buyer that just popped up at the price $32.30. I got to do one thing very fast here on this. Oh, it's already way over it. Shit. All right. It's tough for anyone to just take this trade right now. There's a chance for this to break out. This is where I'd rather take this trade from a higher price, especially with how thin the order book is. You are really risking it here if you're just assuming this will hold perfect. Because even if you jump in from here and it doesn't work out, you're taking a 70-cent haircut. Right? If that order gets pulled from the bid right now at the price $32.30, this thing's tanking. So you are really playing high risk if you're just jumping in now. If this had a better spread, there's much lower risk. This thing's got a crazy thin order book. That's the tough part on this stock now. That's where, quite frankly, I'd rather wait for a higher high. I'd rather wait to see this smash resistance. I feel like you could still take a lot of meat off the bone if it breaks higher. I don't mind buying higher instead of lower here. What's the opening print today? Oh, it's already way over that. 33 was a decent volume level from earlier, but I don't like decent. I like huge. I like enormous, not just, okay or decent. So again, I'll kind of sit this one out a little bit here. If this happened at 9:45 in the morning and this order showed up and I had more time before class here, our class begins in about 5 minutes or 10 minutes to be exact. There's room to have patience and try and see it run. But if this ain't doing it in the next few minutes, I'm not just trying to play scalp and gambler here. So, if it pops higher, there's a better setup, I believe. Well, you know what, Carrie, with a nice comment here. It's a good talking point. Carrie, she's joking with it, but I'll tell you what. Listen, if you would rather trade right now because you made money on this yesterday, which Carrie killed it on this stock yesterday, CEP. But if you are rather interested in trading right now, please be my guest. I cannot say that any further. And I don't want to have anyone, not join me in class. I mean, hey, if you're a new student here, which Carrie is not, if you're a new student here, then this class is for you. You need to be a part of the Phase 1 stock course coming up at 10:35 Eastern time. But if you are a more experienced trader here and you've been in our classes for a little while, like Carrie has, then if you'd rather trade here, please, like, we record all of our classes, right? That's the first thing. This class will be on the student portal in 2 hours from now, right, on replay. So, you're not missing out. I've been with Fausto 11 years, and I've learned from, just past instructors and kind of patching some things up on the back end when I first started with him. But, I make it a guarantee to instill as much value in the class recordings that we do as if you were to be there live. So that's a major talking point that I have here when I teach, so coming up, that's where I say again, if you'd rather trade, then be my guest. This will be up on the recording in the student portal in an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. What's happening? CEP is starting to kind of chip away at that support level. It's breaking it right now. It broke below that support. It didn't make that push. There's a chance it could, maybe it does later on or coming up, for my sake, if it happens after class, that would be great. If this pop says we're in class, I still won't care too much because this is one trade on one day, on 1 week, and 1 month. The market's not going anywhere, folks. There's always trades like this that move that we call out inside our live trading room each and every day. Now, if you're on YouTube, if you're on social media, obviously I see Warren here, he knows. But if you're a new streaming, new attendee on our stream here, I should say, make sure my tongue's untied by the time we have class. But otherwise, if you're new to our YouTube channel right now, we're going to jump off in the next 1 or 2 minutes. So a couple of options for you, at least. First and foremost, just hit the follow or subscribe button right down below, right below my ugly mug here. You should see it in red if you're on YouTube at cybertradingu. Just make sure to follow or subscribe to us right there. As I say, be a friend, tell a friend, spread the good word of what we teach here at CTU. And we follow the big orders, follow the big money. It's not always about making money, but it's also more importantly about just making sure that you don't lose your ass. So a bunch of trades, we made sure that we didn't lose our ass on it at the minimum here today. And that's what matters most. We stream live each and every morning. Next week, we're back in the afternoons, weekly, daily, actually, I should say. So we stream in the afternoons inside our live trading room. We're going to do that now on YouTube, on social media in the afternoons, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, each and every weekday now, Monday to Friday. So Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, live streams each and every morning. But otherwise, on Thursdays and Fridays, myself, and of course, president and founder of CTU, Fausto Pugliese, 35 plus year pro of the markets, we are on Thursdays and Fridays here collectively as a tandem. And, we're just doing full commentary of the markets as you've seen here. So we hope that you enjoyed. But otherwise, if you wanted to join our live trading room, take the next step and join us inside our live trading room, go right down to the bottom right below there, that banner scrolling down the bottom in blue, ctu.co/trial. Again, as it scrolls down below there, ctu.co/trial to sign up for a week-long trial to our live trading room. That's the next step, at least if you're looking to become a student. Trading, investing is not for anyone. And, any one strategy is not for just anyone. So we just invite you to join us inside our live trading room for a week. That's all. That will give you a nice little, taste test to know, is this for me or is this not for me? Is this something that I see myself doing? Is this something that I see other people, real people inside our live trading room? Michael, Lawrence, Margaret, Kathleen, Adel, Alex, Rick, a lot of our members inside our live trading room. Is this something that real people are doing? So that's where we have you join us there. But otherwise, though, hey, we'll be back inside our live trading room at least later on today at 2:30 Eastern. We'll go from there. Otherwise, folks, hey, have a great weekend. We'll catch up with everyone at least on Monday. Otherwise,